Hey there, welcome back to our kitchen. I'm Lauren, this is Casey. We're two Festivals Mealtime mentors, and today we are using the Instant Pot to make a delicious soup recipe.
That's right, Lauren. Today we're making broccoli cheddar soup with the Instant Pot, which is so exciting.
Yes, and what's great about the Instant Pot is it has lots of different functions. So the first function we're going to use is the saute function. So I'm going to hit that saute button. It'll beep when it gets started. So then from there, we're going to add in a couple ingredients. We're going to add in some onion. There it is. It's ready to go.
Yep.
Olive oil. And then some butter. And what we're going to do is we're just going to saute our onion.
So while the onions are cooking, I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about one of the spices that we're going to be using, which is thyme, and we're using fresh thyme leaves. So to get the leaves off of the stem, it's just a quick little kind of pinch and slide motion. So we've done the rest of them. This adds a whole other level of flavor. I love using fresh herbs for that reason. So
yes, a lot more flavor than you'd get from the dried. And again, we just want the leaves, not the whole stem.
right.
Here. All right, so our onions look great. So our next step is to add in the rest of our ingredients, starting with our veggies. So of course we need broccoli in our broccoli cheddar soup.
Right.
And today we're using fresh cut actually from our produce department, where we just need the broccoli florets. So these are all done and cut up for us, which is just an easy time saver.
Yes.
Then we're also adding in a couple other veggies.
Yeah, which is, I think, a fun part of this recipe. So we kind of sneak in some extra veggies.
Yes.
You end up not even being able to tell that they're there, but it's great to kind of add a little bit more of that in our soup.
Yes, so we just added in some zucchini and carrots. You could customize these. You could add in more broccoli if you're not a huge fan of zucchini or carrots, but they go really, really nicely in this soup. And at the end of the day, like you said, you don't even taste them.
Right.
Then we're going to add in some spices. We've got some cayenne pepper, which is kind of fun, and then some nutmeg. We're also going to add in some unsalted chicken broth. Now, we're using chicken broth. In this recipe, you could definitely use a vegetable broth. Vegetable broths tend to be a little bit darker, so the color may look a little bit different.
Right.
So totally up to you on what you prefer to use, but either one works. Then we're adding in those fresh thyme leaves and a couple bay leaves as well. So from here, I'm just going to kind of mix everything up in our pot. And then we are ready to cook it. Then from here, we're grabbing the cover of our pot. I'm going to get this on here. Hard to do it. This way. There we go. So you kind of hear it sing once you get it in place. We want to close it. Make sure that it's on sealing, not on venting up here. And then from here, we're going to cook it on manual. We want it to cook for 8 minutes. So you just leave it there, and it should beep when it starts. So it'll build up pressure, and then it will cook for 8 minutes. There it is. After 8 minutes, just leave it to naturally release that pressure for 10 minutes. So let that cook. All right, so our soup has been cooking now for 8 minutes. We let it naturally release for 10 minutes. And then what we did is we took our wooden spoon, we moved it from sealing to venting, and you want to use the wooden spoon because that steam is going to come up, and you definitely don't want your hand there or your face there. So we did that already, so now we can open up our Instant Pot. We want to make sure we open it up away from us so that steam kind of releases away from our face again. And it looks really, really good.
It does. Those veggies really cooked down where it didn't seem like a lot of broth at first.
No.
But now it does.
Yes, it looks really good. So our next step, we need to fish out those bay leaves. There's 2 of them.
Nice.
Just make sure we don't have any other ones in here. No, that looks really good. Excellent. So our next step is we need to, of course, blend all these veggies together. So you could use a blender, you could use a food processor, which just means you need to transfer what's in the pot here to those different kitchen gadgets. So instead, we're going to actually use a really fun kitchen gadget that I like to use. It's an immersion blender. So essentially, we can just put it right in the pot and it'll blend everything up, which is really easy. It's an inexpensive piece of equipment. So what you want to do is put it in the pot first and then turn it on. All right, that looks really good.
Yes, it does.
That works super quickly. It blends everything together really fast, which is nice.
Helps to thicken it up.
Yes. So of course you can blend it up to your liking. If you like it a little chunkier than this, totally fine. But this looks good to us.
Yes, definitely.
So our last step, we're going to turn our Instant Pot back to saute, that saute setting that we used in the beginning. We're going to add in our last two ingredients.
Yes, which are shredded cheese and milk. So with the shredded cheese, we are using a pre-shredded cheese, which you can certainly do. If you grate your own cheese from a block of cheese, it might melt a little bit faster just because pre-shredded cheese is usually coated with a non-stick type of coating, which makes it take a little bit longer to melt, but it will still melt. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so we will just let that cheese melt. All right, this looks really good. The cheese is melted. It's bubbly, so we know that it's nice and hot. So we are ready to serve this.
Right.
I'm going to turn it off.
So some options for serving, you could garnish with some more cheese on top. You could serve it with like a hearty, crusty bread.
Ooh, that is my favorite way to enjoy some broccoli cheddar soup.
Great.
Crackers.
Yes.
Garnish with some more cheddar. More cheese, always a good idea.
Lots of different ways to make it your own.
Yeah.
This looks
right. Let's give it a try. It's so good. It's got a little kick at the end.
Yes, from that cayenne. I love the nutmeg too.
Warm up with this broccoli cheddar soup.
And for more recipes and resources from your mealtime mentors, visit bestfoods.com.